Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the beautiful Salmon River Fish Hatchery on the banks of the Salmon River. We're happy to have you here today. This is one of our 12 hatcheries in New York State, certainly one of our most important, and the Salmon River is really one of the most majestic watersheds in all of New York. Before I get going, I want to just introduce some of our important guests that are here. We have Oswego County Clerk Michael Backus, Oswego County Legislature Chairman Kevin Gardner, Oswego Mayor William Barlow, Town of Redfield Supervisor Tanya Yurden, Town of Richland Supervisor Daniel Krupke, Onondaga County Executive Joni Mahoney, and all the other elected officials that are here. We also have the REDC co-chair Rob Simpson here, and Norm Swanson from the Tailwater Lodge, as well as my big sister, Rose Harvey, Commissioner of Parks. Or little sister, either way, my sister. We also have some great friends here from Project Healing Waters, a great veterans fishing group, as well as our young professionals for the Excelsior Conservation Corps here today. So it's a great group of guests. So I'll start by saying a few words, and I'll turn it over to our distinguished guest, Governor Cuomo. Rose Harvey will say a few words about the great aspects of tourism in New York State. Kevin Gardner will get up as well, and we'll hear from Norman Swanson about the importance of all these investments. At the very end, we'll have a very special signing and event. So I had the chance to spend a little bit of time here on the Salmon River last fall. Got to see the salmon run, did some fishing, and then, as my staff liked to call it that day, a day of surf and turf, where we went up to the Tug Hill Plateau and went hunting in the afternoon. So I caught nothing, and I shot only some trees, but I fell in love with the region. Really feel for what this area has to offer in its outdoor assets, truly unparalleled. And today, I would say, and I believe all of you will agree, is going to be a historic day for this region, an historic day for the people of this town, the county, the central part of New York, and all of New York, and really for current and future generations of sportsmen and women. And that is really all thanks to our great governor, Governor Cuomo. I've had the honor of knowing the governor since he was Attorney General and working for him for 6 years. And over that time, I've seen the governor emerge as really the national leader on environmental issues. I think it goes without saying that we all have concerns about what's going on in Washington in terms of the environment. But we have what the governor has done on climate change, on water protection, on connecting people to their environment. And all of that was done prior to this year. And I think the world right now is going to be looking to New York's leadership on all of these issues. So we're so thrilled for all the leadership he's shown. Really central to the governor's environmental platform has been that a clean environment and a healthy economy are inseparable. And that's really what today's announcement is all about, protecting the environment and connecting the environment to people. So really, it's without any further delay and my great pleasure to announce my boss, Governor Andrew Cuomo, the 56th governor of the state of New York. Governor?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, what a pleasure. First, so many friends and so many distinguished guests who are here today. Basil Sagos, who's the DEC Commissioner, who's doing an extraordinary job. Let's give him a round of applause. And his big sister, little sister, I don't want to get into that. There's no way you win. His younger sister, Rose Harvey, Commissioner of Parks. Let's give her a round of applause because she's doing a great job. My friend Kevin Gardner, who's doing a great job for Oswego County. Good to be with you, Kevin. Let's give him a round of applause. Mayor Barlow and Norm Swanson, who is running a lodge that is dependent on tourism and fishing and really makes the point of why we're here today. Well, it's my pleasure to be here. I've always wanted to be at the Salmon River. I've talked about coming up many times, but that was to fish. So they finally say to me, we're going to go to the Salmon River. I said, to fish? They said, no, to sign, Governor. You're going to sign. So I am here to sign a great acquisition that I'm very proud of. But one day when none of you are here, I'm going to sneak back and I'm going to fish. I love to fish. Uh, some of my best memories with my family and my father and my grandfather and my kids have been fishing and being outdoors. So this is really a sacred spot for those of us who enjoy fishing. The Salmon River is an internationally known spot. You have people come from all over the world, literally, to fish at the Salmon River. And what the commissioner said is very true. Protecting the environment, conserving the environment, is something we should all take very seriously. You know, 20 years ago, you could argue back and forth what kind of condition we were in. I think it's clear now that what we have taken for granted growing up is something that we're going to have to consciously preserve if it's going to remain. The amount of degradation to this land that is happening, the effect of the poisons that we have put into this land, what we're finding in our water systems now, what we're finding in the air, the chemicals that have been in the water systems for a long time, and we never knew they were dangerous, but now we're testing and we're actually finding out they are dangerous, is alarming. So preserving the gift that God gave us is very important. The Native Americans had a beautiful proverb that said it all. We did not inherit the land from our parents. We are borrowing it from our children. And I believe that says it all. We are stewards of this earth. And we are passing it on to our children. And our obligation as citizens, as parents, is to leave them a land that is cleaner and better than the land that we had. We have been very aggressive in conserving lands during this administration. And second to people like Teddy Roosevelt, we've conserved more land than just about anyone. I am proud of it. I'm proud of the investment we've made in our parks system. Commissioner Rose Harvey will do about $1 billion in reconstruction to our parks, which had degraded all across the state. The DEC commissioner, as I mentioned, is doing a great job. So I feel very good about what we're doing in terms of preserving and respecting and honoring in our role as public stewards. Now, there's a second function that actually works in combination with that, especially in upstate New York. We need to create jobs. We need to stimulate the economy. We spent a lot of time talking about what jobs we were losing to overseas, other states, etc. We're finding new industries that we can cultivate. And one of the great growth industries for us has been tourism. It is a serious business. And during my administration, we've made great efforts in tourism. Why? Because we advertised upstate New York. That's why. Nobody knew what we had here. It was like a hidden secret. Problem is, when you're doing tourism, you don't want any secrets. You want them to know what you have. So we invested in the I Love New York campaign, and we told the story internationally of the beauty that we have in upstate New York. People started to come. The more they came, the more they saw, the more they wanted to come. Our repeat visitors are way up. Our referrals from visitors are way up. Why? Because upstate New York is magnificent. It is magnificent. We just hadn't marketed it before. But you tell me what you want to do, you can do it in New York. You know, I say to people all along, they say, I'm taking a vacation. I say, good. You don't have to leave New York because there's nothing you could possibly want to do that you can't do here in New York. My kids have a different interpretation. They say, Dad, we want to get away from you. I say, okay, you can go to Florida. Anyone else, there's anything you want to do, you can do in the state of New York. So you put those two pieces together, protecting the environment, growing tourism, and they call that ecotourism, economics and tourism. And that for us really is the sweet spot, growing the economy through tourism and protecting the environment and the asset. And then protecting the asset becomes even more important. Why? Because that's why they're coming. Why do you preserve the Salmon River? Because they're coming to fish in the Salmon River, and they're staying at Norm Swanson's place because they're coming to fish. If you degrade the Salmon River, then they don't come back the next year to Mr. Swanson's establishment. So the stewardship, the conservation, works hand in glove with tourism. The best conservationists are sportsmen. People who fish, people who hunt, understand better than anyone else the need to preserve the environment and to preserve the asset. The numbers on tourism are going through the roof. This state, 239 million tourists, over $1 billion in economic activity. This tourism region, 6.7 million visitors, about $500 million in economic activity. And the number one reason people visit the county of Oswego is what? Fishing. How amazing is that? A $42 million industry in the county of Oswego. So, preserve the asset, pass it on to our children better than ever before. The Salmon River is one of those great assets. Today, the Salmon River is going to get even better. We're going to sign an acquisition of 2,800 acres, just under 3,000 acres, along the Salmon River that we are going to acquire from National Grid to have even more access to the river. We're going to acquire another 3,000 acres that doesn't abut the river, but is close to the river to allow more access, more carry-on for passengers and users of the river from what we call the Kendall acquisition. These are the largest, this is the largest public acquisition of land in central New York in over 45 years, and we should be proud of it. The acquisition of land goes along with many other activities that we're undertaking. The DEC is putting in more boat launches than ever before, more carry-on facilities for people who bring canoes, etc., more access to the rivers, closer to roads. We want people to be able to get there. We're making the acquisition of fishing licenses easier than ever before, doing it online. Rose Harvey's Parks Department is investing in parks that are very close to fishing activities, hiking activities, etc. So you can stay at a state park and you can be close to a hiking area or a fishing area, etc. And we're going to increase the I Love New York campaign, the tourism campaign, the commercials, because they've been a phenomenal investment for us. For every $1 we spend in the I Love New York campaign, we make over $100 in tourist activity. So we're going to keep telling the story. We're going to sign the paper. Before I do that, I also want to speak to our brothers and sisters who live along Lake Ontario. As you know, there's been serious flooding. No fingers to point, nobody to blame. Mother Nature does what she does. But the rainfall has been very, very heavy. The flooding has been very heavy, and it's caused significant damage to the shoreline all along Lake Ontario. This Memorial Day weekend, you will have people starting to go to their camps, starting to go to their homes, and I fear they're just going to discover the damage that has happened. Many of the parcels along the water are more summer homes or weekend homes. So I think after Memorial Day, people are really going to start to see the consequences. We recently announced that we're providing $10 million in state assistance for municipalities to do public infrastructure work. We have roads that are washed away. We have pumping stations that have been damaged. We announced $5 million in small business assistance for small businesses that have had physical damage due to the floods. And today we're going to announce that DEC, under Commissioner Sagos, will, after starting this Memorial Day weekend, Sunday and Monday, DEC will have their offices open and the mobile command center, and every weekend this month, they'll have weekend hours where they'll be open, so people coming up, seeing the damage for the first time, understanding what they need to do. They need to get a permit. They can go to DEC. DEC will be open when they need it, and DEC's goal is to get these permits done within a day, which is shattering every record established by DEC. So that will start this Memorial Day weekend. But congratulations to all of the people who worked so long and hard to make today possible. It's a good day. It's a good day for us. It's a good day for what we will leave behind. And it's a good day where we can go to sleep tonight and say, you know what? We did leave this state a better state for our children. And that's what it's all about. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Governor Cuomo. This is today the land acquisition, the partnership with my much older brother, Basil Sagos. Thank you for everything you did. It's one step forward, but it's been a million step forwards. And indeed, New York State is a model and an example of what it should be in the environment and natural resources and economic development and all and everything. And we really, really appreciate your leadership. So I'm going to clap one more time. And it's not, as we all know, environmental protection and economic development are interwoven. They're a catalyst, they're a leverage for everything. For everything we save in the environment, it's more for the local economy. But and we're not just conserving the lands and improving the quality and improving the stewardship, but Governor Cuomo's vision is about access for everyone, and particularly for the next generation, so we can instill in them the land ethic that all of you fishermen, you hunters, you recreationalists, all of you have and know so well. May we forever perpetuate that land ethic and create leaders such as Governor Cuomo that will protect them. And so we're doing much more fishing, hunting, camping, hiking, bikes, snowmobiling. We're stocking those hatcheries. Commissioner Sagos is doing that. Many programs to teach everyone about the skills of the outdoors, so we're comfortable. in the outdoor. And DEC and parks have the most camping areas in the country. And Governor Cuomo's Parks 2020 and all that he provides for DEC and all of the environmental organizations are rebuilding all of those campsites, all of those state parks, and making them much more accessible, making programming more available, and getting you out onto the salmon rivers of the world. And finally, trails. Trails near roads. The governor announced the Empire State Trail. It will be 750 miles, the longest, the largest multi-use trail system in the country, and it's about connecting Lake Erie to Lake Ontario, to down to New York City, up to the Adirondacks, to Canada, and everything in between. Let's have access. Let's enjoy the great American outdoors. Thank you. So it's a privilege to be here and be part of this grand ceremony, and it's my privilege to introduce the chair of Oswego County Legislature, Kevin Gardner. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, it is great to be here. What a backdrop. First of all, I'd like to thank Governor Cuomo. Thank you for coming to Oswego County again, upstate New York. You never forgot us. You don't forget us. And I want to just say, for you being here today, for making the investment in the future of Oswego County, thanks again. Today's announcement, again, is a testament to the governor's commitment to the investing of upstate New York. This administration has transformed the relationship between Albany and upstate New York. Working together with local governments, the governor has repeatedly delivered for all our communities and for our economy. Today, Governor Cuomo is once again stepping up for Oswego County and protecting one of the most valuable assets and resources. The Salmon River is an extraordinary natural waterway that attracts anglers from all over the world for its unmatched fishing experience and natural beauty. Oswego County is proud to be home of such natural treasure, and the state's acquisition of the additional land will help secure and protect this resource for Oswego County residents far into the future. I'm grateful for the support of Governor Cuomo and the state of New York. I look forward to continuing to work with our state colleagues to protect our natural resources. But from the heart, Governor, thank you for not forgetting Oswego. Thank you for all you've done in the past, for all you're doing now, and all you're doing in the future. It definitely shows. We appreciate it. And at this time, that was as short as it is. At this time, I would like to introduce Norm Swanson, president of Woodbine Group.
Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate that. Governor, I looked at the weather forecast. Last night it said it was going to rain and it was going to be cloudy. Mother Nature knew you were coming. Thank you for coming to Altmar, New York. This county needs you to help your vision. I have been doing economic development and building buildings, hotels for 40 years. Your vision and your leadership in the last 6 years has meant that my children, my children's children have a chance to have jobs in this region, and this goes across the board. As one of the things we did, we came from the city of Syracuse to Little Altmar, New York. We found a rundown, boarded up elementary school on 35 acres with 2,000 feet on the Salmon River. My son Tom Fernandez said, "You gotta do something. Get out of the city. Learn, live just a little bit." So we developed Tailwater Lodge into a suite hotel, 42 rooms, restaurants, and then economic development came in. Your economic development department gave us a grant of $200,000. We took that as seed money. We built a 20,000 square foot conference and meeting facility for social occasions, business retreats, and so far it has been fabulous, the reception. Businesses across New York State are coming to meet with us to enjoy the facility. We're booking social occasions, weddings. But again, it would not have been possible without your help. So again, thank you so much for the vision and the leadership.
Commissioner? Okay, I want to certainly invite the governor up. We're going to sign the paper to memorialize the land deal.
Bill is signed. Congratulations.